So here in this upload, I'd like to propose a model or framework for 4 levels of consciousness. Now, in my book, No Path to Enlightenment, I steer clear of creating such definitive models for reasons that would become apparent if you have read it. Nevertheless, I think for some people it is important to have something to hang your hat on, so to speak, a framework that you can use to make things clearer, where the esoteric writings pointing to the Tao and the way and the no thing underlying all manifestations can't. In other words, a handle for which to perhaps gain a better insight before you then drop into the actual experiential way of seeing the world. So this is an intellectual exercise, and before I start, I don't know who to give credit to for these 4 levels of conscious awareness. It's out there, and they're not mine, so I will straight away say that I'm not taking credit for these levels, but it's worth discussing them. And so we say that the first level of conscious awareness that human beings have is to me. That is T-O, me, to me. And this is paraphrased as victim consciousness. Not a great name, but we'll explain why as we move forwards. So in this level or state of awareness or conscious awareness, everything is happening to me. So I have no control. I am the victim of circumstance, and life's hard and it's a struggle, and things keep happening to me. The world out there of manifestations and forms isn't particularly pleasant, and it's a survival exercise for me, and things keep happening to me, and I have to react or respond accordingly, and it's a survival, and I am a victim of circumstance. The Heidegger's thrownness in Western philosophy, I'm thrown into the world, and there's an existential angst there as well. It's a survival, and we are mortal, and we've just got to keep going day by day. And so that is the conscious awareness that is given the phrase to me. The second level or type of conscious awareness is by me, B-Y, me. And this is called responsibility consciousness. So you can see where we're going here. So this is, now we take life by the scruff of the neck. We take control. Yeah, sure, there are things we can't control. Life is messy, haphazard, there's chaos out there, but we're going to bring some order to it. We're going to improve our situation, and we're going to do that through our own willpower. So that is by me, and we're taking responsibility, and we can try and make the most of this life whilst we have breath in our body. Now, I would suggest that before we go on to 3 and 4, that the majority of people live in one or other of those 2 states, to me or by me, and of course flip between the 2, perhaps throughout their days, weeks, months, years, throughout their life. So in this model, jumping ahead of myself, the third level of conscious awareness is through me, and this is surrender consciousness. Now straight away now we can get a feeling for perhaps where we are on this channel and where perhaps your interests lie. This is the perennial wisdom, or it's pointing towards the perennial wisdom. It is an inner journey. Suddenly we are not living in the world of external manifestations and seeing ourselves as one of those many things that has to survive in the world, but this is a subtle change in perspective. This is where I would say a lot of seekers are looking. This is the path towards perhaps self-realisation or enlightenment that many are following. And this can be a very personal journey, or it can be a social journey. You can do it individually or through groups of people. And So here we are acknowledging something else. It's a subtle change, but it's a big, big change in the way one looks at the world, because suddenly, when looking for answers out there, per se, we are recognizing that something else is happening here. It's a subtle change in perspective, as I say, through me. So something is happening through me. This is allowing ourselves to perhaps give an opening to something greater than ourselves, something within us that is greater than the individual self. And we don't quite know what it is, but this something acts through me. And we surrender to this higher state of consciousness or higher awareness. We can name it in those spiritual terms. We could do it psychologically, a deeper, more enjoying sense of self, or spiritually, religiously. We could give into divineness within God, for instance. But however we articulate it, it is recognizing that we are finite individual selves in the world, but that there is something that is happening at a deeper level, and that is through me. And so the surrender consciousness is a nod to allowing life to unfold as it will. Now, if, just to recap, if to me is no control, then by me is taking control, and then through me is surrendering control. And I would suggest that there are a lot of people, perhaps you're one, and people who are interested in these messages and my book and also other books and the great teachers out there, that are investigating through me, and that can have very interesting effects in one's life if you surrender that control to something greater than oneself. And then in this model, the fourth level of conscious awareness is as me, and that is oneness consciousness. And to that we cannot really describe much. We cannot really assign description to that. This is, we can give it a name. There are names like self-realisation, enlightenment, liberation. And then you merge with all things and everything becomes one. And this is the non-dual perspective, the perennial wisdom of Advaita Vedanta, the message that is pointed to throughout in my channel here and in my book, No Path to Enlightenment. And we can name it, but we can't really describe it. But what I would suggest, and these are my little additions, is that the interesting thing is that to me, I would say, is no control. By me is taking control. Through me is surrendering control. And as me is no control. Back to where you started, but from a completely different perspective. So I hope you found that useful. I might develop these themes a little bit more and tie them into the perennial wisdom, perhaps in another upload. If you enjoyed the content, leave a thumbs up, do comment, and if you haven't already subscribed, click the subscribe button. Thank you.